I'm a dark horse. I'm a dark horse beating down the door somewhere. My childhood escaped the streets, etching 3 syllables of my name beneath the old city of Berber, Yemen. A woman dressed in black found me, shackled to the gates. It was my mother, chewing on her ruby passport. It's time to leave. It's time to leave. Goodbyes past the northern valleys, greeted the southern blue waters, unlocking the fisherman's Red Sea, and the colonial crown reeked of death, buried in my foreign blood. And martyrs will meet life, and justice will dance on the heads of snakes. And it turned cold quickly over the Mediterranean. This Yemeni girl sings British anthems and British bombs between her terrace walls. And I lost a part of me. I lost a part of me. I forgot the taste of my mother's milk with her nipple gritted between my teeth. And I lost a part of me, and I taught my mother how to speak English, translating her hospital letters. The cold is eating her bones, and I skipped school to escape the Scouse boys lurking at bus stops who sing riddles of camels and curry and Bin Laden headlines. A heartbreak worth to be torn between my 2 homes. If my racist neighbour daydreams our women in 2-piece sets, golden headbands and white polished toes in the stand, I deserve my honour. But I lost a part of me. I lost a part of me in this dining room, learning to use a knife and fork. We don't eat Sunday roast or fish and chips or porky pie or go to the pubs because I like my fingers in my food and coffee before I sleep. And I lost a part of me. I lost a part of me in this corner shop Grandad left selling mocha beans, broken dreams, broken biscuits for half a penny. But why here? But why here? Because this Yemeni girl sings British anthems and British bombs between her terrace walls. And she wears home. But this dress still fits perfectly. Belong. We swerved between checkpoints. An armed young man watched from a distance. An elderly man squatting in a dark corner stared, and a group of veiled women on the balcony giggled, and I stuck my national flag out of the car window, and reds, whites, blacks faded. And the colour of my skin brushed against the plain window, and I was there. And I was there. I was there in a strange land, and I was there greeted. Soon we became friends, best friends. Too soon we betrayed our roots. My olive backcombed hair, I hated the smell. My jet black hair falling down my back, too thick to carry, too different. I chopped it all off. So I was there. I was there in glass windows and brick walls, begging on the streets for penny for a guy, watching the firework display light up your new city, and eat a halal Christmas dinner, sprinkle grandma's spices, a taste we've been trying to recreate even if we tried. And then soon my Scouse accent lingered on my tongue, and I wanted to feel wanted like that. But I made sure that I did. But I slept with my mother's voice in my ear. Never forget where you came from. But in my broken Arabic I said, هذا هو بلادي. Mama, هذا هو بلادي. This is the home I need. And then a little ginger boy down the road, hey, where do you come from? And I, picking at my skin scarred with mosquito bites to remind me what is marked should never be forgotten. And in my perfect broken English Scouse, I come from here. I come from here. He looks down at his hands, but you look different. I nodded and smiled. We played piggy in the middle with his friends. By sunset, it was my least favourite game because I couldn't sleep that night because there were sirens on my TV. And he looked like my father, bearded, Arab, brown eyes, olive skin. The Pilgrimage. We kissed at the border, but you stole my heart, offering it to Nejran. But I was too young to understand this warfare love story when my tongue is tied to this English home, but we lost ourselves in our peculiar summer pilgrimages to a place elsewhere. But only the diaspora cross-legged children understand slurring basic Arabic letters across the cabinet classroom, and your teacher, tall as you, pointing her nose upwards. Never lose yourself in this place, even if you lose yourself. It's like she already knew. But these children daydream abstract checkpoints of stick men in uniform, confessing to the moon with their flags stuck upright. And we search for home in our radical love letters across the English Channel, pushing the French waters when the lifeguard sleeps. And we recreate the kiss at the border, stuttering its national anthem, it turns in its grave, and the invaders prowling in our summer journeys is a love story missing. So the school bell rings. The children unpack their tuna butties and smart price orange juice, speaking over each other with their mouths full. They suck the life out of them and they turn sideways. When my mother danced with my hair, cross-legged on the kitchen floor, between my mother's thighs, she quenches my hair in her hands, reminiscing the terrace dance and ankle bells and clicking her fingers to the music her tongue crafts. My mother chokes up her childlike laughter, drenched in olive oil, I felt my neck snap. My mother spreads the excess across my pigmented neck. We dance together with my hair in her hands. I turned my face away. Mum, I don't want to be here. But my thighs thickened on the flinty floor, too tangled to sit up straight for a primary school girl. Didn't mother tell you that she loves you? Perfectly plaiting my hair, she licked her finger, stealing my childhood with her fingers, creased into my roots, and it locked the ends with an elastic band to keep me away from the foreign winter. And only fair girls seek marriage who keep their face moist. But I was too young to be smothered in love, and we both knew it was never going to last. And my mother told me to finish my breakfast. So I bit into my half-buttered toast like a dried date, skimming its skin. I plotted my journey back home with loose change in my skirt. I promised. I promised to walk up the diaspora walls when they come knocking, but my mother found me half naked on the floor, breathing with my hair separated from my body. I told my mother it reminded me too much of the girls back home. She turned her face away. I don't want to be here. Backbencher. I saw my father cry for the first time. He gave birth to this city. To remind me home is sketched across his belly, but the sirens did not stop yelling. He kept on running, but this will never be his game to play. My father spat this city out of his mouth, chanting his anthem in his foreign tongue, but the red flag was the only song he knew. So I saw my father cry for the first time. He scruffled his hands in the mud to find the secret between our borders. Is the difference between this city and men in suits who suck their thumbs and fiddle their fingers in our pockets. But young men like my father, black curly hair, brown eyes, mocha skin, curl their tongues in their political lingo. They sat on backbenches and learnt to watch from a distance. And I saw my father cry for the first time. And he cradled the city in his arms, waiting to be loved. But all he knew that this glory does not belong to people like him. But the red flag is the only song he knew. And when my father died of a heartbreak, he told me to never give up on this city, for no first love kills with a dagger. So when I was 15, I was unfairly convicted, and I was arrested and received a 3-year criminal record for defending myself against a hate crime. And what had happened is the bystander, from a very privileged lens, had described me as the predator and the aggressor, when really I was a child victim in a hate crime. So this is the reason I'm here today as a performer, because I thought I would not be able to work ever again. So I picked up a camera, picked up a mic, and I started to tell the story that was not told in its truth. So this piece, My School Bus Stop, is part of the Anthony Walker Foundation campaign about Stop Hate and basically getting people to report hate crime. And if you've heard it on YouTube advertisements, this is the poem. My school bus stop. My school bus stop was hide and seek behind the glass shield. We raced to the school gate, sucking on sour lollipops with our mouths inked and blue. The attendance officer marks us late. It was a promise we made to the girls to not leave anyone behind. This playground is war, turned cold, and the hijab tightened itself. I told my mother I need running shoes. She said, what for? I said, I need legs that can run faster, so I carried my heart to the thump of his feet, growing louder on the double-decker stairs. And he stood tall, chanting Bin Laden headlines and curry smell, and I sat small, hiding behind the Metro newspaper in a story that looked like mine. So I stuck out my tongue, and the passengers pulled sad faces, hugging the predator with his fist in my face. A bystander choked on its privilege. Called in the police, I was saved, shackled to the prison gates. They held my narrative hostage. So I grew a lioness in my scars. Je suis my foreign face, and assalamu alaikum to my predators. Even though this piece comes from a very traumatic experience as a 15-year-old, this next poem and my final poem is about the woman that, I grew up to be. So this is called Girls Like Us. Girls like us go to war every day. We placed on our armies, tucked in our school shirts, lifted our skirts, chasing those white boys down double-decker buses. You racist prick, I shouted, running down Queen's Drive as he chased me with a knife. Because girls like us are forced to learn English quicker to save us from a stab wound in our backs. We wore expensive running shoes, hanging our keys from our necks to let them know that we are coming. Because girls like us settled in a foreign place, and we buried our mother's tongue in our back gardens to find the roots have outgrown even deeper. A sacrifice that haunts you every time you sing your mother's anthem, but you keep on dancing. You keep on dancing because girls like us grew balls with pink bows, and we passed the immigration officer, dancing, two-step melody around the immigration officer. I stuck my tongue out, flutter my tongue, recite my tribal name, explaining to him why I don't look like a Mary Jane and why I still smell like my grandma's spices and lime. Because girls like us are told to throw our veils in the river. Because no letterbox delivers here. And you wait for Trump to blow his trumpet and kiss the face of Boris Johnson. But you wait for the right-wing party to chant up your street, but you hide behind your curtains, sucking on your mother's olives. But you keep on dancing. You keep on dancing around the huff and the puff down your neck. He mutters his hate, so you tighten your scarf, you sit up straight to let him know that you've unpacked your bags and you're settling here. Because today you're pushed by the bus driver. Tomorrow you're skipped by the line by your teacher, told to speak louder. Mimicked our broken English, displaced in the classroom. She tells you to seek asylum, and the joke of today's lesson was on me. Tomorrow is a girl like me. Because girls like us learned how to defend ourselves. Because some girls ducked the snowballs across the road, but we threw the rocks back in their glass windows as he points at me. How are you a Scouser? How are you a Scouser? Because girls like us had to befriend our enemy. Because going home is every tear behind every school bus stop telling your mother that school was okay today. That school was okay today. You run up the stairs hiding the scars on your face. Because going home only meant singing your mother's anthem in a foreign place. But it's too broken to sit, so you stutter her vowels like alif, ba, ta. وحدتي 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 أمتي أمتي.